Hello everybody. It has been a week or so since I last posted, and I thought I would kind of fill you in on what's going on. So the reason I'm doing this, by the way, is if anybody else ever has an injury on the job, I'm trying to kind of give you an idea as to how the flow of it works, how everything happens, and how, at this point, how Crete is handling it. Right now, Crete, I have no problems at all with the way that Crete has handled this whole situation. I've got nothing but really respectful people that seem to be genuinely interested in getting me healed up and back to work again. So I'm really in good shape. They sent me to have an MRI. I think I talked about that on my last video. The MRI, I finally, the doctor called in sick on the day the orthopedic surgeon called in sick on the day that I was supposed to go back, and he put me off for 2 weeks. So anyway, it's been a while. I finally got in to see him, and he says that there is damage. There is a tendon that runs this way across my shoulder, and that tendon is torn. That's one of the rotator cuffs, and it is torn. There is damage there. On the ball and socket of your shoulder, there is a membrane in there called a bursa, and there is some damage to that bursa as well. That damage may or may not be related to age. So, but the damage on the tendon that is there is definite. However, he seems to think that because of where it's at, and because it's not torn all the way to where it's just hanging by a thread, it's actually got quite a bit of tendon left holding it. He seems to think that it would be better to let that go and heal naturally. The problem with that is, either way, whether he does surgery or whether he doesn't, healing of those tendons takes a lot of time. So I don't know exactly how much time that does take. I can tell you that it seems like I'm doing better, and the pain level will begin to subside, and then something I do in my sleep seems to aggravate it again, and next thing you know, my shoulder is pretty well hurting again. At times, I still have this issue where it feels like that bursa has shifted to the back, and when that happens, it's extremely painful on the back side. It tends to throw this trapezoid muscle on the back of my shoulder into a spasm, or it makes it lock up. And when that happens, the pain in my neck, about 4 or 5 inches down my neck, where that trapezoid attaches to my backbone again, and then over here in my shoulder, really, really hurts. That causes pain to go all the way down my arm, and it ends up in my thumb. At times, my thumb tingles. It has in the past, in the last, since all this happened, my thumb went numb. I have the feeling back in it again, but at times it tingles again. It's like kind of the feeling that your thumb might have went to sleep or something. That's the only way I know to describe it. I can still move it and whatever, but it's like it's not completely numb, but it's asleep. So anyway, he's sending me back to the MRI again, and they're going to do an MRI on my neck this time. I really felt like that was what started this whole thing off anyway. It felt like there was a place right there on my shoulder that somebody had put a hot coffee cup or something on my shoulder all of a sudden, or something hot had dripped on my shoulder is kind of what it felt like. My first experience with all of this. And of course, I felt back there and I couldn't feel anything, and didn't think anything of it until it started hurting while I was driving home, and just perpetually kept getting worse and worse until I got home. And so I really felt like the problem was in my neck to start off with and not in my shoulder. As a matter of fact, even though my shoulder was hurting, I didn't realize that was the real issue until I went to the emergency room and they give me some kind of a shot in my neck, and I'm not sure exactly what that was. I don't think it was a steroid. I think it was some kind of a pain medication. But anyway, they gave me the second emergency room visit, they gave me a muscle relaxer that at least caused all my shoulder to relax. And that's when I realized just how bad my shoulder was hurting, when my neck stopped hurting so bad. So as of right now, I still have shoulder pain, I still have neck pain, and this muscle that runs along your shoulder blade is still pretty touchy. So anyway, they're going to do the MRI. They called me yesterday and was supposed to call me today again to schedule the MRI, and they did not call me today. So I'm hoping that gets done quickly. If they can get it within the next couple of weeks, then I can see the surgeon again in a couple of weeks, and maybe have some kind of an idea if there's a problem with a pinched nerve in my neck. But anyway, whenever I did learn after talking to the people from Crete and informing them of where we were in the deal after I got out of the doctor visit the other day, I let them know that as soon as I started, or as soon as I reported that I had been injured on the job, I started getting this stack of mail, snail mail, and they give me these magnets and whatever from all these attorneys, and mostly in Nebraska, wanting me to sue Crete. I don't know right now that would really solve my issue any at all. As of right now, Crete has done everything they can without any hindrance and without any disrespect or any, they have done everything they can to try to get me healed up and get me back. Like I said, as of right now, I have no need to call an attorney and get an attorney involved in all of this. I just thought I would mention this, that it's a common thing. I told them about it yesterday, or Tuesday, I guess it was, whenever I went to this surgeon, that it was happening, and they go, yeah, we know it. It becomes a matter of public record whenever you report an injury, an on-the-job injury in Nebraska, and all of these attorneys are like vultures. They're all wanting to make money off of it and whatever. So right now, I don't see any need for that. I really, I'm not. I am hurting, and I want to get healed. That's my total. I really would rather not hurt and be back on the road again. That's where I would like to be, but I don't see that happening right now. It doesn't take much effort in moving my shoulder just the wrong way, or moving my arm the wrong way. I can set this off, especially this tendon that's here in the front. And it really gets to hurting, and to the point to where I can't sleep at night. I'm not on any kind of pain medication, so I really have to be careful with what I'm doing. I am working at a nonprofit that mainly helps people that are in crisis, families that are in crisis. For whatever reason, their main breadwinner has lost his job, and they just need something some help to get food, or get housing, or get clothes, or whatever it takes. It may be a case where the house is burned down and the families are, they're really needing food and needing clothing and needing some assistance in other ways, and some of it is homeless people. I have got a real education on the homeless from the actual people that are homeless and living on the street. It's amazing sometimes the ingenuity that they use in order to survive out on the street. So I've got a real education from that. But anyway, that's what I have been doing. It is a Christian-based outfit. Very well respected in the community. They really do really good stuff, and I am pleased that I was able. Crete wanted me to, because I am released for light duty work, lifting less than 5 pounds. I can't do that as a truck driver, so obviously, but I can do something. So Crete is paying me not only they're paying me to go volunteer at this nonprofit, but they're also paying me my workman's comp. So I'm still on workman's comp, but however, I am released to do light duty work. So it's really has not cost me anything, and it's keeping me with something to do. I'm real pleased that I feel like I'm helping my neighbors. I'm helping the people in the community. I'm helping a lot of the homeless people that are, a lot of them are challenged as far as mentally. You know, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm all about helping people. The reason I make these videos is so that I can help younger drivers and help other drivers, not necessarily younger ones, but just other drivers that may not have run across the situations that I have run across. So that's what this is all about, and I'm all about helping people. So it's really working out good, and I have absolutely zero issues with working down there. The people that I'm working with, they understand and they respect that I'm injured, and I have limitations as to what I can do. They have been really accommodating, and they are so thankful to have any kind of a volunteer come in and help with the operations. This whole operation is really keyed off of the community coming in and not only donating food and sheets and pillows and pots and pans and forks and spoons and everything that you would need to, children's clothes, clothing, feminine hygiene products, you name it, and people donate it to this place, and they take those donations in and return them to the community. And a lot of the grocery stores are donating food. Some of the local farmers, we had a farmer today that brought in a big batch of zucchini and crookneck squash, yellow squash. They brought in some tomatoes, some homegrown tomatoes, and we have another farmer that has an abundance of eggs that brings in eggs to us, and we're able to give those to families and to some of the homeless that have a way to cook it. Some of the homeless people are really, they've done this quite a while, and they've figured out that they've found a pot or a pan, or somebody's given them a pot or a pan, and they can cook some things on an open fire like you were camping. Some of them live in tents. There's several areas around town where I wouldn't say it's a tent city, but there are some tents, people living in tents. They're away from the road, they're away from sight and whatever, so unless you know where they're at and know where to go to look for them, you'd never see them. But they're there. There's other agencies, other outfits, nonprofits that are also helping feed the homeless and helping take care of some of that, helping find them jobs. That's the one thing that the outfit that I'm with now, they have a program, especially for men, where they help men get off of either alcohol or drugs or whatever they're on, and then help find them a job and rehabilitate them, give them a place to stay until they can get on their feet and get their act together again, and find them a job. That's the number one thing, and start teaching them how to live responsibly as a good community member. So anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not really driving a truck. However, let me tell you this story. Some of the other people are that volunteer have been real interested in me driving a truck, and they ask all kinds of questions. And I've been able to tell them that whenever you see a truck that is pulled over by a state trooper on the interstate or wherever, it does not necessarily mean that that truck driver has done anything wrong. I have been pulled over. Gosh, I can't even count the number of times that I personally have been pulled over in states all over the country where the state troopers are doing their job and they're actually pulling trucks over. They'll check their driver's license and check their bill of lading, and they do a walk around. Sometimes it's a level 1 where all they do is just check your paperwork. Sometimes it's a level 2 where they actually walk around your truck and do, check your windshield wipers and your lights and your turn signals and all your tires, and they do a visual. It's rare. I have not had to have a level 1 inspection on my truck. I never have. I've always worked for companies that their score is their safety score is so high that it's not necessary. But they do the state troopers do their due diligence, and they check out they'll check your tires, they'll check a brief visual on your brakes, they'll check your mud flaps, your lights, your horn, your blinkers, all this kind of stuff that they can do pretty quickly, and they're real good at doing that. So I have no problems working with them at all. I'm always, no matter if it's costing me money or not, it never pays to be rude or to be obnoxious with a state trooper. So I'm always pleasant, professional, and friendly with the state troopers. They're doing their job. They're actually protecting me by keeping these trucks off the road that are in really poor condition and have no business being on the road. So I have no problem with that. Some guys, it may cost me money from time to time, but it's not that much. So I always appreciate that part of it. Now, as far as one of them pulling me over, I have never had a ticket. So not a speeding ticket or any kind of a thing like that. So I have not had to worry with that. The only ticket I've ever had was in the state of New Mexico on a 2-lane road. I ran past a thing that it had a sign that said there was a vehicle inspection station ahead, a commercial vehicle. And I'm looking for a building, I'm looking for a paved parking lot, I'm looking for anything, and I blew by what I now realize was a state trooper sitting on the side of the road behind a bush. that was their vehicle inspection station. It was on, I believe that highway is 59, going between Santa Rosa and White Sands, New Mexico. That road that cuts through there, I believe it's 59. Anyway, truck drivers that have been through there, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's the only place I ever got a ticket, $157. That was been probably 8 years ago, and I'm still mad about it. So anyway, I haven't got any other tickets. But as far as being courteous, professional, I am a professional driver. I am always courteous, especially with a state trooper. It does not pay, even if the state trooper is dead wrong. It pays no. It makes no sense to be rude and obnoxious to a state trooper. So I always try to be professional and courteous, and it's paid off well. I always thank them whenever they're done. So But anyway, we got to talking about that today, and then that led into a discussion about where to eat. And man, you know, truck drivers know that the AC&T truck stop in Williamsport, Maryland, is probably the best fried chicken anywhere in America. I would put their fried chicken. Now they redid their kitchen and they rebuilt. They added on to their truck stop, and they redid their kitchen. And I've been in there a couple of times since they redid it, and I did not buy anything to eat. Of course, I was on a diet. That's this keto diet. But the AC&T in Williamsport, Maryland, is probably the number one place for fried chicken of any place I know of anywhere in America. I'd put their chicken up against it. And I found other places I really like. The only place I've ever found this is near Memphis, Tennessee. They make these. They smoke bologna, and the bologna is going to be, you know, it's 6 inches around, and they make it a half-inch thick, and they put it on their barbecue grill, and they smoke it. And then, you know, it may be almost black on the outside whenever they get through smoking it. And to put that on a piece of bread with some cheese and mayo, and oh my God, what a meal, what a meal. I love it. And there's a place right across the street from the Love's truck stop in Jackson, Tennessee on I-40 that's probably got some of the best smoked barbecue. They call it, or smoked bologna. They call it barbecued bologna, but it's really smoked. But man, what a meal. And there's another place, I believe it's called Tom's, that's on Gaines and it's on Gaines, Gaines Street, and I can't remember, Raines maybe, Raines and Getwell. It's on the corner of Raines and Getwell in Memphis, Tennessee. You don't want to go in there at night. When you go in there in the daytime, they've got this thick glass like the old bank tellers used to have all the way around them, that bulletproof glass where you pay for it. Even in the daytime, I don't want to go in there at night. But during the daytime, man, that barbecue, I'll put it up against anybody's in the country. I have had barbecue everywhere in America. I've had barbecue, and I'll put up Tom's again against anybody's. Really good stuff. But truck drivers know where to eat. There's a place in, I believe it's in New Mexico on I-40, that's got Indian food. You know, not that kind of, the ones from the country of India. There's a truck stop. It's a independent, you know, it's not a chain deal, place where you can park out there. And I'm not crazy about really spicy food and whatever, but if you go in there and tell the guy that's making the food and whatever that you don't want it spicy, you just want some real good food, and man, he will hook you up with some of the best, tastiest food you've ever had in your life. I love it. There's another place in Oklahoma. There's a gas station, and if you didn't know that they have these, it's almost like a food court in the back of the gas station. There's several little small vendors back there. And I can't remember the name of this place. I just know where it is. It's right there, not too far across the line from Arkansas into Oklahoma. Once you cross over into Oklahoma, it's right there on the right. But man, this guy it's a Mexican. This little food court thing is a Mexican food, and he hooked me up with this thing. I don't know what he called it. It had rice, it had black beans, it had cheese, it had meat, it had, oh my God, what a meal, what a meal. Really good stuff. But I'm telling you, I know all over the country, I can tell you, no matter where you're at, I can tell you where the good food is. And I think a lot of truck drivers, you know, you don't have a whole lot to do on the road anyway, and some of the pleasures that you get while you're out by yourself is knowing where good food is, and knowing how to get it, how to get your truck in there, and where the good stuff is. It's not always real obvious to anybody else where the good stuff is, but I know where to eat, unfortunately. So anyway, I have still lost weight. I've gained a little bit since I've been home trying to eat with my wife and my family here. I've been off of my keto diet, so my weight is starting to go up a little bit, but I got to get off of that. I've already bought the stuff for me to get back on my diet and try to lose some weight again, or at least maintain what I got. But anyway, I'm going to kind of leave it at that. I'm doing okay. The Crete has been treating me fine. I've been getting my checks on time. They have worked with me as far as the doctors are concerned. The doctors they've sent me to have been top notch. I have no issues, no problems with any of the doctors. I don't feel like it's, a second-rate doctor or some kind of a shady deal they're trying to send me to just to get me back on the road. They are genuinely interested in me getting healed up. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now. I will probably have this MRI in the next few days, and then I'll go see you hear my dogs out there. I'll let you know after I get back with that. Other than that, unless something unusual comes up, you probably won't hear from me for another week or so, but I'll try to keep you informed. I hope this has been enjoyable for you and informative. If you have any questions about anything that I've talked about or anything that I'm facing, please put it in the comments below. I really enjoy getting your comments and your questions. It makes me know that at least people are watching and you're getting something out of it. So thank you again for watching. For those that subscribe, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm almost at 200 subscribers now, so I'm really thrilled about that. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you real soon.